expression, without form, and without attributes. You are unlimited and unfathomable, beyond imagination and perception, eternal and imperishable. You are indivisible and unconceived, but divine. You always were, you always are, and you always will be. You are everywhere. You are in everything. And you are also beyond everywhere and beyond everything. You are in the firmament and in the depths. You are manifest and unmanifest, on all planes and beyond all planes. You are in the three worlds and also beyond the three worlds. You are imperceptible and independent. You are the Creator, the Lord of Lords, the knower of all minds and hearts. You are omnipotent and omnipresent. You are knowledge infinite, power infinite, and bliss infinite. You are the ocean of knowledge, all-knowing, infinitely knowing, the knower of the past, the present, and the future, and your knowledge itself. You are all merciful and eternally benevolent. You are the soul of souls, the one with infinite attributes. You are the Trinity of truth, knowledge, and bliss. You are the source of truth, the ocean of love. You are the ancient one, the highest of the high. You are Babu and Dharmeshwar. You are the beyond God and beyond God also. You are Parabrahma, Allah, Ilahi, Yesan, Ahura Mazda, and God beloved. You are named Izad, the only one worthy of worship. We repent, O God most merciful, for all our sins, for every thought that was false or unjust or unclean, for every word spoken that ought not to have been spoken, for every deed done that ought not to have been done. We repent for every deed and word and thought inspired by selfishness, and for every deed and word and thought inspired by hatred. We repent most especially for every lustful thought and every lustful action, for every lie, for all hypocrisy, for every promise given but not fulfilled, and for all slander and backbiting. Most especially also, we repent for every action that has brought ruin to others, for every word and deed that has given others pain, and for every wish that pain should befall others. In your unbounded mercy, we ask you to forgive us, O God, for all these sins committed by us, and to forgive us for our constant failures to think, to speak, and act according to your will and wish. Beloved God, help us all to love you more and more, and more and more, and still yet more, till we become worthy of union with you, and help us all to hold fast to Baba's dawn, till the very end. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Ancient One, your face is a bright transcendental sun. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep. My heart may hear I give to you to keep. Creator, yet creationless you are. Truth and truth's body, divine avatar. Who through compassion the three worlds maintain. Restore this ignorance that life sustains. These five lights are the whirling spokes of breath of the world's wheel that bears me unto death. Unless you who are infinitely kind break the wheels of which is conditioned mind. This incense is my love, these fruits my art, which to please you I have shaped from my heart. Accept them as you would a simple flower that has no use beyond its shining hour. You are myself, I sing to you in praise, and beg your love to bear me through the days, till you, the ever-living perfect one, illumine my darkness with your shining sun. Avatar Mer Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Mer Baba Ki Jai. Avatar Mer Baba Ki Jai.
From the Oklahoma land, Baba Saxon.
Oh, nice.
Unbelievable. There's more there. Of course, the spot itself on the side of the road, but it's about 6 acres of some of the most beautiful farmland with these beautiful old barns, and then you get away from the road, and there's this piece there. Baba chose this spot, and it's a very special place. There's wildflowers blooming in these beautiful fields, and we mowed a path so you can now walk around the whole thing, and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Daniel told me that they discovered that they actually owned the spot where Baba led into the ground. That they used,
Really?
They used to think that was part of the state property, but it's actually it's owned now by the.
Before he went out there, anyway, he said that to you. Wow.
He told this to me, yeah, on the
This
porch
is
the other day.
fantastic.
Yeah.
This is really
So
great. I didn't know that.
Part of that, they bought the land where the house was, where Baba had the accident, and they thought that the accident had actually happened on state property, but it turns out they actually own. Now that they bought that property, they own that spot where Baba is.
Wow, thank you, Jamie, for sharing that. That's fantastic. And the core, what they call the core group, the 4 board members and 2 others are out there right now. Look, because no one's been on the land except for Jane and Don McBride had been out there when he brought this sofa that Baba laid on that was in whose house? Fred and Ella's house in New York. Now that sofa's out there in the Heartland Center. But it's a J. Mayor Baba. Thank you.
Carolyn is going to read a few quotes from Mayor Baba, and then Jamie will sing a few songs, and then Mr. Luck.
Will there be any time for Irwin after all?
There might be
Irwin, you're canceled.
34 minutes.
Keep getting pushed back.
Love surrenders to the will of the beloved, gives all to the beloved, sacrifices all for the beloved, lives for the beloved, dies for the beloved. This supreme state of love is the God state. For what is God but love? Infinite, unbounded, eternal love. Love annihilates the lower self and expresses the higher self. Jai Baba. There's a second one here. This is from Lord Mayor. I don't know where the other one's from. but it's probably the email that we all got on Sunday, right? So this one's from Lord Mayor. Wine is prepared by the crushing and further crushing of grapes, whereby it acquires the capacity for intoxication, which usually takes away one's command of understanding. Close and repeated feeling of love for God also brings intoxication, but this takes you toward true understanding. This understanding is not gained through reason or intellect. As long as you remain separated from God and try to understand Him, He cannot be understood. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jamie and Cliff.
Cliff deserves some applause because he's suffering quite a lot. He's back into rehab surgery and he's decided he's going to come and try it anyways.
What do you mean try?
He's going to do it. He's not going to try it.
All has been made ready, and the waters have been stilled. When the leaves sprout on the fig trees, and the scriptures are fulfilled. The call of the Ancient One comes, bidding our souls no more to roam. The call of the Ancient One comes, leading us back home, leading us back home. When the world is filled with darkness and the shadows hide the light, when all at last seems hopeless like a thief in the night, the call of the Ancient One comes, bidding our souls no more to roam. The call of the Ancient One comes, leading us back home, leading us back home. When mankind has turned away from God as they wander to and fro, when the wick of righteousness is burning low, the call of the Ancient One comes, bidding our souls no more to roam. The call of the Ancient One comes, leading us back home, leading us back home. Yeah. Call of the Ancient One comes, call of the Ancient One.
That's one of the first Bob songs I ever wrote. Wow. A long time ago. Over 46 years old.
Like myself, 46 years. Do one more, and if there's time, we may have Irwin say a word. One morning as I knelt in prayer, a shaft of light fell upon your picture there. The window was reflected clearly on your face. I could see the clouds of heaven in its place. I sank into a reverie, remembering all that you had meant to me, when suddenly you lifted me out of myself. Through that window I was taken somewhere else. Oh, babe, you are my window to God, and you let me see into celestial realms and far beyond. And in you I see the light divine, though ancient shadows line the path that I have trod. There you are, my window to God. Your curtain let a breeze blow in. As I bowed my head, I slowly drank it in. The prophets in their glory and the heights of bliss never tasted any sweeter drink than this. A songbird at your windowsill sang for his bread, and you offered him his fill. I swore to you that morning that I would remain till the starlight twinkled through your window pane. Oh, babe, you are my window to God, and you let me see into celestial realms and far beyond. And in you I see the light divine, though ancient shadows line the path I have trod. And here you are, my window to God. If I should flatter you in song, praising this window more than what lies beyond, or give a heart-sick lover longing to proclaim that this window and his Lord are both the same, I come to you begging for food. I have no way to express my gratitude, but to love you and to serve you, to do your will, and to sing for you beneath your windowsill. Oh, babe, you are my window to God, and you let me see into celestial realms and far beyond. divine, though ancient shadows line the path that I have trod. Hey, here you are, my window, God.
Thank you, Jamie and Cliff. And while they're getting things arranged, I just want you to know that in 1960, and of course Irwin can correct me, he was, I believe, 20 or 21 years old. 22? 22 years old.
Trying to make you older.
And without his father's permission, he went off to India and met Baba 65 years ago.
Wow.
So I don't know how old he is now, but my God. And then he met Baba in 1962. And then, when Baba dropped his body, his brother Edward and him went over there and helped to cover Baba's body. So with that introduction, this is who this man is. A true lover of the beloved. Irwin,
Well, we don't
it's
know
all
about
yours.
that.
Take a look in the mirror, brother.
I'll start off by saying no one is older than me. Okay. I did have the great privilege of being with Baba, meeting him. And I'll just say this, that the first thing that Baba said to me is, "What do you want?" when I came to see him. And this is a question that he would often ask anybody that came to be with him or to see him. He would ask them what they wanted. Well, I said, I would like for you to show me God, and also I would like to be like you. So then Baba, without missing a beat, he just says, "Stay close, stay close." Now, I was supposed to be there with him, according to what he had written previously, for 1 hour. I was going to be there for 1 hour, and then return back to the States with his instruction. But as it turned out, he kept me with him for 2 weeks, and he took me with him wherever he went. I was close. If there was anybody that came between us, he would pull me over, to be near him. And this went on for 2 weeks. So there was a lot of things that happened during that period of time. Now, when I said that at that time to him, I meant it. I wasn't just, trying to be so-called smart by repeating something that masters would say to the people that approached them what they should want. No, I meant it. I really wanted him to show me God. I wanted to see this. You hear all about it. For ages, people are talking about it. There's Bibles of all kinds written about it. There's, they talk God, God, God. Let me see something already. It's time to see something. There have been people that have been records of, both in the Bibles and in other places, that actually had inner visions and could experience things. So that's what I wanted, and I wanted him to show me that. And I was very intense at the time. I was not just thinking, oh, well, it'd be nice if he did that. No, I'm not business, I wanted to really, because I had read that Mayor Baba was God realized, that he was a person that had the experience of the God state, and that he was in that consciousness, and he could give it to whomever he wanted. He even went on to say, when I was reading the book, Listen Humanity, at that time, Baba in it had said that even if the worst scoundrel stood before him, he could make him realize God in less time than the flash of a second. Now, how about that? You got to be pretty good for that. You better be there. There's nobody else going to be able to do that. So when I read that, then I said, now I know I need to see Mayor Baba, because he's not only someone that explains it, but he's somebody that can do something about it, can actually do it. And that is why I went to see him at that time. No, I'm not God realized now. But he did tell me things. And he did say, amongst the things that he explained to me, and he told me in the course of the time that I was there in the beginning, he said, one day I'll give you the highest experience. And he told that to me and my brother. We were both together at the time. That's my brother Edwin. And he said that. So since that time, I don't even hardly think about it anymore. I just think that, well, now it's in good hands. It's in the best hands. It's going to work out just when it's supposed to. And but at the time, I have to tell you this, at the time, I was so persistent that he should do this, that I kept pressing Baba, when are you going to do this? When? You see, so finally Baba told me, he said, in 6 months. It sounds so bad at my rated ages. Another 6 months wasn't going to be so bad. So he told me in 6 months. So I said, good, and just like that, and I just want you to know that in 6 months, that's what's going to happen. This only happened in, 65 years ago that I was there? I can't keep up with these years, because I keep getting another year older every year. And you have to start adding them, and then, well, anyhow, it was about that many years ago. So I know in 6 months, in his time, it'll be just perfect. And it'll be just when I wanted it, because I wanted him to show me this now. Not future, but now. And since it is always now that everything happens, when it occurs, it will be now, just when I wanted it. There you have it. Now, I brought my book along. I've written a lot of books. I don't know who's ever going to read them, but the books are here. And this one here is titled Irwin and the Avatar Circulars, and this is book 5. It turns out that every week I send out a circular, and it's one of my poems which explains things that Baba wanted everybody to know. So my poems aren't just poetic things to be flowery, but it is really telling you something that he said. Now, in this book, I marked one here. Let me see oh yeah, this one here. I'm going to read it. And it's titled, What Meher Baba Wants the World to Know. That's the title. It's good to be able to see. All right. What Meher Baba wants the world to know. That's a big order. But look who it is coming from. He says he is God, the infinite, and God in human form when he visits here. These are some credentials. This is who he says he is. Now he wants you to know something that will help you immensely. So what is it? Here is what he explained. First, you're no stranger to me, although I am a stranger to most. I know each of you personally. I know your thoughts, your feelings, your desires, and why you are the way you are. You can't understand me in my all-knowing state, but I can understand you and love you unconditionally. I am here to bring you up to my level. It is true, I am in each of you, like the ocean is in each drop. Like each drop is made of ocean, each of you is made of me. That is, just as the ocean makes the drops, so it is that I have made each of you, because of that each of you is what I am. I am closer to you than your own breath. Your future with me is to realize your oneness. Whatever I am, with all the bliss, power, knowledge, beauty, love, and consciousness I have, also is in you, including my eternal and everlasting self that I am. The music, rhythm, and vibration of all life that I am is in you too. This is what I want you to know. Stick with me, and I assure you, this is what you will become, because we are one. And this, all of you dear ones, is what I want the world to know. In its loving oneness, Irwin. That is what Baba has wanted us to understand. Anybody that has a, this is a very informal meeting, so if you have a question or anything, be glad to answer anything that somebody may want to know. I'm glad everybody's raising their hand. I just want to let you know that I've been with Baba now many years, and in the course of that time, I have personally felt very much at ease. I see so much worries that go on in the world with politics, particularly nowadays, and also other worries that people have about their personal lives and their wealth or their health or different things that we have to deal with. But Baba has given me a certain understanding and a certain relief, I guess, because you see, it wasn't easy for me to get to see Baba at one time. I had no money to really make the trip, and you have to take a plane, Baba's halfway around the world in India. So I wanted to get there. And because nothing was working out, one day I received a letter. It was a circular, actually, that was sent out to the West from Mani, Baba's sister Mani. And she would write the circulars as to what Baba is doing, if there was anything regarding his silence or any such things, she would be the one to tell everybody. So in my case, I wanted to get there, but like I said, I had no money, I couldn't get there, and I didn't know what I was going to do about it, and nothing I did worked out, just nothing. So 6 months went by like that, where I wanted to go, but I couldn't go. So when I got this one circular that came, that Mani sent, that Baba would soon be entering seclusion. And if he enters seclusion, it would be for 6 months, during which time he would not be receiving visitors or any communications, letters or anything like that, except in an emergency, you could send a telegram. That he did allow. But then I thought, oh boy, another 6 months is going to go by. I can't, this was like too much. I can't wait that long. Well, I didn't know what to do, and now I was desperate. But desperation is good because you come up with ideas when you get desperate. And I had the idea that what I should have done in the first place, and I wrote to Baba this was before the entering of his seclusion, I wrote to Baba and I said that I wanted very much to have the love, benefit, and direction of him, but I couldn't, I didn't have the money to come, and I couldn't see where money should stand in the way of such an ideal, is to come and see you. So, I know that it is your will I'd be able to come, providing it was your wish. Now, it didn't take long. In fact, it happened very quickly that I received a reply. And Baba said, don't worry, circumstances will adjust themselves. Don't worry, circumstances will adjust themselves. It was just one sentence, love, Meher Baba. That was the whole letter that came back. So I got that and I thought, boy, this is nice, I wonder what's going to happen. So 2 weeks later, I'm actually there with Baba. Now, what happened was things seemed to happen in a very natural manner, except instead of no, everything is yes, you see. It's nice when that happens. When all the no's become yes, you see. That's when things work out. So now I'm with Baba, and one of the first things that Baba did ask during my initial visit was, how did you come? So I said, Baba, I was able to come because it was your will. And as soon as I said that, he had me stand up and to repeat it to the group in the room. There must have been about 15 people in the room at the time. And I stood up and I said, I'm here because it is Mayor Baba's wish and his will. Now, there was a man in the back who raised his hand, and Baba pointed to him. And this man said, but how did you make the money to come? Because he was probably there when my letter came. You see, Baba would have everything read out where everybody could hear whatever came to him. So he must have been there. So I thought immediately, this man doesn't understand. It was his will. It had nothing to do with how I'm going to make the money and all like that. So, as I'm thinking this, Baba just takes his hand and it goes like this. It goes like this. The way he said, that's how he came. See, it was like that. It was his will, not because I was so smart or something that I was going to make it happen. Because for 6 months, nothing would work out. Now everything worked out. All right. So Baba had a lot of love. We hear about how loving Baba is. But when I was there, he was really like that. But in a very natural manner. It wasn't like he was putting on any airs or anything. No, he was very, very loving and very friendly to everybody. The best friend you could possibly have would be Baba. He would be a great friend. He was always in your corner. He wasn't out to condemn you for every mistake you ever made or things you did wrong. It was none of that. Baba was just, he would say, you're with me now. Don't think of your families, don't think of your job, don't think of all of that thing, just be with me now. And that's how it was. And you didn't have to think about anything, that concerned you, all your concerns. It didn't mean that the concerns vanished, but it wasn't important now. That was all, it just didn't have any importance. And I feel that when Baba would say to become desireless, you hear this, in the spiritual path, you've got to become desireless. It's not the way a lot of people have approached it or think of it, that you have to sacrifice yourself and you have to not want what you want. And it wasn't like that at all. The way it was is that your desires lose importance. And so you don't care about it. That's how it works. It doesn't, there's no force or self-trouble that you have to become desireless. It doesn't work that way. It's just as things cease to be important, you become desireless. I use the example of a baby with a rattle. You know, he has a rattle. And if you try to take the rattle away from him, he's going to start crying and he's going to wail and everything. He doesn't want anyone to take away what he has. However, in the course of time, he doesn't care about it anymore. Now he goes on to other things. So the rattle has lost all importance. It's not that he sacrificed his rattle, that he couldn't have it anymore. And that's how it is with all the desires that we have. You see, one by one, they go when they lose importance, and you don't care about it, you see. That's how it works. It's a very natural thing. It's a simple thing, too. Very natural. And Baba, being around him, you're not thinking of all of the things that you would normally be thinking about, that you want this, or this has to happen this way and that way. Yeah, no, just leave it to him. Everything is happening just right. That's the way it is. If you put it any closer, I'll have it in my mouth.
Eat it. We always say to eat it.
She thinks I'm hungry.
Are you?
If anybody wants to say anything or ask me something, feel free. This is very informal.
So when you went to, in 1960, well, at what point or what led you to know who or how you found out about Mayor Baba? And what struck your heart to even have the desire to go at your age?
You see, I was being internally guided. I don't know who and what, but I literally was for a few years prior to the time I even heard about Mayor Baba. My brother was in New York pursuing an acting career. So he went to the library to get a book to further his acting career. He wanted to read something. So what does he see? He sees this book, Listen Humanity, on the shelf. And it really intrigued him that somebody should call a book Listen Humanity? What kind of a book? That he wants all of humanity to hear about, you see. So he picked it up out of his own curiosity, and he started to go through some of the pages. And of course, this was a book that Don Stevens had written regarding his visit with Mayor Baba at that time. And it was very intriguing. He liked what he was reading. So he calls me up, and he tells me that he's read a book about Mayor Baba, and that he's a master. He claims to be God in human form, and that he's, someone that he thought that I should know about. Well, I had no really interest in it. I mean, I listened to him, but I had no interest because I felt I was inwardly being directed and guided anyhow. However, in that inner directive and guidance, it was about a month later, maybe even less, that I suddenly had the feeling that I had to go to New York because something was going to happen, that I would gain a communication with God. Literally, this is what occurred at that time. So I didn't connect that to Mayor Baba, though. It was just an inner direction, and I always followed those things. Well, now, I told my dad about it because my father was a very materialistic man. He had no particular spiritual desires of any kind. He didn't care about all that. He was doing his business, and he was a successful businessman, so he liked that. But I told him I have to go to New York. I'm going to go to New York. He says, what are you going to do in New York? I said, well, Dad, I feel it's just a good thing for me to go. I didn't even want to tell him because I knew how he would think. You see, believe me, I'm not psychic, but you didn't need to be psychic. So I said, but he's persistent, And he's very intelligent, so he's persistent. And finally I thought, oh boy, I may as well tell him. I said, look, Dad, I have to go to New York because I know that there's something that's going to happen where I'm going to get something from God that is supposed to be spiritually. When I said that to him, this was like your fantasy land. You see, you couldn't talk more fantasy to him. So he says, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to go into the mountains because they have the Catskill Mountains there. And you think God is going to speak to you and you're going to follow his commandments. I said, Dad, that's already been done long ago by Moses. I don't expect anything. I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that this is what I have to do. And I'm going to see, and if nothing happens, so I'll be back. What's the difference? And if something does happen, that'll be something that'll be great for me to have. So he says, I'm not going to say another word about this because if I do, you're going to rebel, you want to rebel and go. But if I don't say anything, then you'll forget about it. So I thought, well, it's good. He's not going to bother me. So 2 weeks later, I do leave. And that's when I went to New York. And for 4 days, when I got there, I was in this cheap hotel. I only had $70 to go to New York. Even then, it was very little. You don't go to New York with $70 if you expect to accomplish anything. Anyhow, I went there, and I'm in this hotel, and they had the stationery on their stationery. It said, absolutely fireproof. So I thought, why do they have to say it's fireproof? I mean, why does a hotel have to tell you it's fire? Do they expect a fire and you're going to have it fireproof? Anyhow, that was irrelevant. So then I did this meditation that was always very successful for me. But nothing was happening, absolutely nothing. And after 4 days, I spoke to my brother again, and he told me, why don't you go see this fellow, John, his name is John Dam. He's a priest in the church next door to the hotel. I said, what kind of a name is John Dam for a priest? All right. So I go. Anyhow, he's a very friendly guy, and I'm talking to him. And he says, you ought to read this book, Autobiography of a Yogi. It was about Yogananda. Those of you that may have heard of that. So I thought, here's this priest. He's a Catholic priest. He's talking about a religion that's not even his. I'm here to find out about God, and I'm finding out now about a yogi. And the whole thing was like bizarre. But this was the clues. So I went to the library, and I read the book Listen Humanity. I mean, not Listen Humanity. The one, Autobiography of a Yogi, was the title. And it did teach me something about masters. You see, I had no idea about masters in those days. That a master is someone that that is in a God state, a more realized state. I didn't even know about God realization. Just he was high, and so I'm reading. So I go there and I'm reading this book, and I'm really liking the kind of experiences that he's having, where he experiences the inner light, and there was a lot of descriptions in there. So I thought this is good, but then you see, when I thought about that, that's when I remembered what my brother told me about Meher Baba. So now I felt, if he's a master, then Meher Baba is supposed to be a master. I think I'm going to want to read that book. And that's how I came to know about Baba, and then I went to see him. So this is the route that I took that way. And of course, I marked something else in this book here, which...
Can I ask you something just for clarity?
What?
Can I ask you something just for clarity about your story?
Yeah, go ahead.
So a Jewish boy goes to a Catholic priest who sends him to read Autobiography of a Yogi, and from that he finds out about Mayor Baba.
Yeah, and
He's on a
I'm
string,
thinking
right?
this is not even my religion. And I'm talking to him, and then he's telling me about a yogi, that's not his religion. What are we doing here?
Irwin, you said that how natural Baba was, and what a good friend he was. And what made him such a good friend? Maybe in your interaction, but also other interactions you saw him.
I'm having a little difficulty hearing you.
Stand up.
I was just saying, you spoke, Baba was the best friend, and how natural he was.
Oh, when I was talking about that,
Yeah,
okay.
and when you were with Baba, what are some of the things that made you feel that he was such a good friend, not only to you, but also to the other people?
He was always in your corner. You know, he was always, whatever he was saying and doing was really to help you with whatever thoughts that you may have had. You see, Baba knew already what your desires and feelings and everything was, but he was doing it in a very natural manner so that you could feel that if you had anything you wanted to say or ask him or anything, he was right there for you, just like a friend would be, you see. And like I say, a God-realized person can be the best friend that you ever had.
How did you know he was in your corner? What did he do or say, or?
You mean some actual incidents?
If you have
well,
any, or?
Yeah, I could tell you something. You see, the thing that Baba was, he really liked you. And when he would talk to you, he would be, he was silent, but he was using his hand gestures. And Erich at that time was reading his gestures. And Baba would be thinking what you would, things that mean something to you. He was always doing that. And it was with everybody, it wasn't just with me. But of course I had that opportunity too. One incident was that I was having diarrhea at the time, one day. And Dr. Donkin was there too. And Donkin and I would talk a lot over lunch because he was staying at the hotel where I was. And we would have our lunches together, and Baba was wanting him to be with me. So on this day, being a doctor, he also, I'm sitting, and I'm in the middle, and Baba's on one side on the couch, and he's on the other side. And he leans over to Baba, and he says that he has some medicine for me to take, that it would be good for me. And Baba is leaning back also over on the couch to him and listening to him. And at the same time, he's blowing kisses to Duncan. The whole time he's blowing kisses to him. And because he was so happy when he was telling me. You know, incidents like this is very touching at the time. And the medicine did work. You know, that was one incident. There was a lot of things when he was visiting the little girls' orphanage. They had invited Baba to come to bless the children, you know. Anyhow, Baba accepted that invitation. And now he was embracing each kid as they came up to him. They were just little kids. And then he would embrace the teachers. And afterwards, we were in the car. I was in the car with Baba, and I said to Baba that they must have been benefited a great deal from what you must have done to help them. And Baba just nodded yes, you know, that he had taken care of a lot of them. You see, we don't see what goes on behind the scenes, but on front of the scene, he's embracing the children, and he's giving them a lot of love that way. And the teachers too, same thing with them.
Was that the event where Baba gave a statement to the priest about Christ, and then at the end he said, "And I am he undoubtedly"? Do you remember?
Well, yes, there was something said about that, that there was a priest that, I'm sorry, I can't remember verbatim the words,
Yeah, no, it's
but
written down.
that was the idea.
Well, he wanted to give, but he thought what Baba said was beautiful, and he said, Baba said, "Read it back to me," and he read it back, and he said, "Oh, but you left out the most important part, that I am he undoubtedly."
Yes, that is correct.
And you were present when that happened.
Yeah, yeah, that, you know, Baba was very, he gave strong affirmation of who he is and what he is. But at the same time, he was very human. When someone asked Baba if he was human, you know, you hear about God realization and the awesome powers and knowledge that is in that state. So he asked him if he was human. Baba said, "I'm more human than you." I have something here that I was going to read also. You know, when my time is up, you can tell me, because
You
otherwise...
got another 50 years.
Well, all right. 50 years. Oh, boy.
6 months.
6 months.
If I can find what I was going to look at. Okay, this is titled, "What Else Does Mayor Baba Want the World to Know?" See, the first one was what does Mayor Baba want the world to know? That's the one I read. Now this is what else. It is not hard to live happily ever after once you realize your immortality. Bodies don't last forever, but you do. How do I know? It is because I met you and you told me so. Here is how he did it. He was sitting in his chair. This is Baba. There was about 15 of us in the room. He did not speak, he was silent, but he used a few hand motions. Erich was the man next to him. He read his finger movements out loud for us to know. I am not this body that you see. I wear it when I visit you. Don't mix me up with the body. You must see me as I really am. Later, he gave us to understand, I love you because I am in you. You don't see that, but I do. My consciousness is not like yours. I see myself as being everywhere and everything, and also beyond everywhere and beyond everything. That's because the mind and all its imaginings is nothing but a dream to me. But to you, this dream looks real. I have come to wake you up from this illusion you are caught up in. From time to time, I enter this illusion to wake up those who sleep, dreaming they are awake. When I do, I take them into the reality of my own experience for them to enjoy the bliss, power, and knowledge that was always there. Dreams are like the waves of the ocean. It brings you up to the heights and down to the depths. In calm waters, you find peace for a while, but it does not last. Call me God, call me Lord, call me Oversoul. Names do not matter. The truth is, I am in you to realize who I am. That we are one is a fact. The journey of each soul is to realize this and live the life you were meant to live. Now, if I were you, I would stick to me, because after all is said and done, we are lovers and are meant for each other. So said Mayor Baba, who wants the world to know this.
Beautiful. Wow.
Question? So we started out with your journey in 1960, and now I'd like you to bring us up to 1969, when you and Edward went over there when Baba had dropped his body, and your experience in your heart.
You know, it was an interesting time. We got a cable which read, Avatar Mayor Baba has left his physical body to live eternally in the hearts of his lovers everywhere, and has ordered to be placed in his tomb, which he had ordered to be built for him long ago. That's as close as I can remember to quote it. So, we didn't, you know, the day I got this was the day. You see, I was driving a taxi at the time. And there was not one single rider that got into my taxi that day. I'm driving for hours. And in New York, they raise their hand, you know, they hail the cab. A lot of people want to be driven around. This day, there was nobody. I couldn't understand what happened, you know. There's nobody raised their hand. They even want to. For hours I'm driving, and finally I decided I'm taking the car back to the garage, and this is the last time I'm going to drive a taxi. Now, I get this message, this telegram comes, and I wasn't sure if this was really, you know, whether this really happened, but I asked for the message the cable to be read again, and sure enough, you know, I thought this is exactly the way Mayor Baba communicates. You know, there's a certain way he communicated, and I'm thinking, but I still wanted to be sure, so I went to see Fred and Ella Winterfeld, who were the Baba group heads in New York, and people are calling from all over the country in regards to whether this happened, because there was some little article, a small article, in the newspaper, in the Times and in other papers, that Mayor Baba had left that he had passed away and died in a cave, and he was silent for many years, something like that it said. And it was wrong, you know, what was being said about the cave, but it was enough to stir anybody's curiosity as to find out, well, what is really happening. And so they would call Fred, who was the group head, and then he explained, yes, Baba had dropped his body. Well, now, all these people were being told not to go to India to be there for the funeral. And the reason they were being told not to go is because their group heads, and this was all over the country, were afraid that it would be too much work for the Mandali to have so many people coming. So Fred is telling me not to go because this is too much, not to go now. So I said to him, Fred, I'm leaving. I'm going. How can a son not go to where the father is when the time comes for his passing? He has a funeral, you go to it. So I'm going. And he was a little peeved because, you know, he's telling everybody not to, and here I'm telling him I'm going. But then I also told him, I said, you know, Fred, if you don't go, you'll regret it later. That's what I said to him. But anyhow, my brother Edward and I, so we left. We get there, and we're at the foot of Mehrabad Hill. Baba's Samadhi is at the top of the hill. And Erich is there, and he's greeting us. And he says, where is everybody? I said, they're being told not to come. In the meantime, there were thousands of people lined up to go into the tomb. You know, the Easterners, there were all thousands of people, and they were concerned about the few hundred people from the West that would come, as if they're going to be a burden on them, because nobody wants to be having anybody taking care of you, so it isn't going to be a burden. Anyhow, we go up to he takes us up to the top, and we go inside the Samadhi, and that's where I saw Baba lying in the crypt, and he was wrapped in the cloths that they had around him, and you could see his face, and in my mind there was no question, that's Baba, but you could see his face, and there was a strange thing that happened. I call it strange. That for 4 days, there was this incredible intoxication in the atmosphere around the Samadhi. I mean, really intoxicating. It just lifted you up, you know, you felt your emotions, your feelings were so high. And it went on for 4 days like that, that intoxication. And then later on, after a few months, because Baba had called for all of his lovers to come to see him, they didn't know he was going to drop his body, but that still went on, and Baba had said at the time that he would be very strong when he was asked. He said that he would be, and actually his love was very, very strong. Everybody felt it. Because a lot of people did come, and then Fred came along with the others, Fred Winterfeld, and he actually told me, he said, you know, he said, you were right, I really should have come. But in a way, because of his service to all the other people that were calling and everything, it's probably good in one respect that he was there to answer their questions about Baba dropping his body. Anyhow.
Where did you stay when you got there?
There was no pilgrim center at that time. So we were staying with Sarosh and his wife home.
The Villa Villa.
In Villa Villa, yes. Yeah, we were staying with them the whole time. An interesting thing about that is because Sarosh was always, you see, he was a very close disciple of Baba's. And he wouldn't do anything without first consulting with Baba. And Baba would tell him what to do, and he would do that. Well, when he was 17, many years before, Baba had told him, just when he was still a youngster, that if he stuck with him, he'd make a king of him. That's what he told Sarosh. And as the years went by, he became very wealthy. He had a car dealership. And then he also married a very beautiful woman, and he had a grand house. And the elite from the government and military would come to stay in his house. They would be very close. And then he also became the mayor of the city. Now, he said that when he was going to run for mayor, he asked Baba, and Baba said, you run, but you're going to lose. But then when you run again, you'll win the mayor. And that's exactly what happened. So and the people really loved him as a mayor because he was very generous and very, cared for the people. They liked him a lot. So he was a popular mayor as well. And it turned out, he was like a king. Everything, what Baba said. And he did stick with Baba. Baba said, if you stick with me, this is what'll happen. So he's 17, it sounded good. Be king, why not? What's wrong with that?
Irwin, did you have an opportunity while you were in the tomb and Baba, you could see Baba's, when they were burying him, did you have an opportunity to take a handful of the dirt and put it on top of Baba's grave?
I didn't do that. That was done by the Arangon villagers. At the foot of the hill, there was the village. They're the ones that actually covered Baba with the earth. However, there was something that I did. I took a jar, me and Edward, we took a jar and we filled it up with the earth. And this is before the marble slab was actually laid down on top of the earth that reads, Baba was saying, in that I've not come to teach but to awaken, you see. Now, I just want to devolve just for a moment. When he said to awaken, he wasn't kidding. It was really wake up. You see, like you go to sleep at night, you have a dream, but then you have to wake up. That kind of wake up. Because that's the wake up that gives you the infinite experience of your full self. You see, we don't experience our full self here. We have a lot of limitations. But in the state of the God state of consciousness, then you're experiencing your full self. You can call it the God state, you can give it a name, but it is that. You now experience your infinite power, infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, infinite existence. You experience everything you are. You see, that's what happens. So when that occurs, then of course, you can say that you have the God state like Baba has. Same thing that Baba has. Baba lifts you up to his state. Not something else. It's all you. You see, it's all you from the beginning to the end. But instead of experiencing limitation, you experience your unlimited nature.
Under the jar of earth.
Huh?
You had a jar of earth.
I knew I was talking about something. Now, the jar of earth, we took the earth that was already covering Baba in the samadhi, and put some of it into that jar to fill up the jar. And even till this day, I'll give people a vial with some of that earth, which is the real earth that covers Baba. You see, like that. You got one of those. A long time ago. All right, well, that's what that was.
Thank you, Irwin. Would you like to say one more thing, or would you like to take the microphone away?
Well, I picked out 3 poems from my book. I read 2 of them. And if you like, I can read one more. Which...
You'll end it with number 3.
Yeah, let me see if... Oh, here it is. See, this one I actually put a marker in it. It's buried in here somewhere. Here it is. It's titled, I'm Just a Man with Infinite Powers. That's the title. These poems are us. This is what happens to us, according to what Baba has explained. I'm just a man with infinite powers. Not only do I have infinite powers, but infinite knowledge also, amongst many other infinite things that you cannot even imagine. If you had what I have, you would love it. I'm also an eternal being. There is no death for me, or an end to time for me. So what will I do with all the time I have, which has no end? I will make others like myself. That's what I will do. In my state of infinite consciousness, there is no one else. I am all there is. So if there is going to be someone else, I will have to imagine someone else. I can imagine anything. Worlds circling suns, universes of galaxies with their worlds, extra dimensions, people with bodies and minds, animals, microbes, houses, landscapes, including you. You name it, I can imagine it. I'm all love and bliss also. I bet you didn't know how I can be that too. That's because I am everything, everywhere. You try that out. No one understands me. No one understands me. How can you? You would have to become me to do that. So the entire spiritual path, if you ever get on it, is to become what I am, since there is nothing else. I am the one self behind all the bodies and minds throughout my imaginary cosmos. Simple, isn't it? In fact, if you take away all my godlike powers, I'm just an ordinary man or woman just like you. But if I were you, I would want to hang out with me till you would become what I am. So just to let you know, I have been doing just that for some time now. When it just so happened, when I was with him, he said, one day I will give you the highest experience, which in my mind is his experience, as I don't know anything higher. As for you, dear reader, Meher Baba was not exclusive. The same door is open to anyone who wants to hang out with him.
Jai Baba. So we're going to close the meeting by Jamie. Is he still here? Yep. Closing out. But I would like to just say one short story, and if you don't mind my voice. And that is that when I was with Baba's brother Jal, and he would sing this to Baba as he told me. It's 13 words. It's a kind of a song, bear with my voice. Can I reveal exactly how I feel? Can I confess I love you? Jake? Yeah.
I was out walking in the night, and I saw there before me a bottle of your vintage wine, labeled for lovers only. I held it to my lip, and as I took one sip, slowly I felt my mind losing its grip. I started singing, oh Meher, I've been drinking all night long, oh Meher, now I cannot go on, oh Meher, won't you carry me, won't you carry me home? I thought that I could easily become your lover, but now I've grown so drunk, you see, I'm afraid I may fall over. The stars all wink at me, they're laughing just to see this drunken fool with his drunken plea, singing, oh Mayor, I've been drinking all night long, oh Mayor, and now I cannot go on, oh Mayor, won't you carry me, won't you carry me home? Now it's grown so late, I think there's no way of winning, for I have had so much to drink that my head is spinning. You've tricked me into this state of drunkenness, so won't you take me home now and seal it with a kiss, singing, oh Mayor, I've been drinking all night long, oh Mayor, now I cannot go on, oh Mayor, won't you carry me, won't you carry me home? Won't you carry me, won't you carry me home? Home. Won't you carry me home?
As always, we end the meeting with two words.
Mayor Baba.
Baba.
Thank you. I was asked to also remind everyone that gala for the Circle Center is this Saturday at 5 o'clock. Registration starts right here. Please come.
And one more thing for you strong young men and strong women. Please help us fold the chairs and put them over here. We'd appreciate it. We need to do some cleaning before